Hello everyone, this is Space Hunter Nebula and I'm bringing you the first Dragon Ball What If of this channel. As you can see from the title, this is What If Vegeta Was the Legendary Super Saiyan, Part 0. You may be wondering, why Part 0? Well, that's because this part is only to set up the story, because if we don't have this part, it won't make any sense next part. Also, this part does not solely focus on Vegeta, though neither will next part, but next part definitely focuses on Vegeta more than this. This one basically will be about Vegeta's life, and then a little bit of the setup for this scenario. But again, you need to watch this to watch the next part if you want it to make sense. This part also will be included in the full story, because I am going to make one of those, because that's the only way I even want to watch What Ifs on YouTube. So I would want to give anyone interested the same thing. Anyway, without any further ado, let's actually get into the video. In this story, we will be peering into a universe where King Vegeta was the one to get with Broly's mother instead of Paragus himself, because we on this channel are firm believers in Broly's mother's supremacy. For simplicity's sake, we'll give Broly's mother a real name, instead of calling her Broly's mother over and over again. We'll call her Belle, like the pepper. However, even though she gets a name, she's not really relevant to this story, because as far as we can tell in the regular canon, she is not alive. I would assume she would die in childbirth, otherwise she would have just gone with Paragus to Vampa. So Belle isn't really relevant in this story either, but at least she has a name. Maybe in another story she'll be relevant though. So here's the series of events here. King Vegeta meets Belle, they fall in love, they go ree, and 9 months later Vegeta the 4th is born. That's Prince Vegeta if you didn't get it somehow. Unfortunately, Belle passes away sometime during or after the birth of Prince Vegeta the 4th, so King Vegeta is left mostly alone to raise this child, unlike in canon where he at least probably has the queen. However, most of the time Vegeta the 4th spends his time in the funny liquid chambers monitored by the Saiyan scientists. 2-ish years after Prince Vegeta's birth, Frieza arrives on planet Vegeta to announce his role as the new commander of the Cold Empire. After seeing the scouters demonstrated, King Vegeta goes inside and uses one on his son, seeing his power level. It's around 1,200. That's an entire Raditz. We get this power level from combining the power level of Baby Broly in canon and Baby Vegeta in canon. Not Baby Vegeta, but Infant Vegeta. King Vegeta motions for one of the scientists to come over, and she does so. He scans his son's power level again. "Take a look at this," he says. He and the Saiyan scientist look at the number on the screen, and yeah, still the same, around 1,200. Prince Vegeta opens his eyes and looks at his father as well as the strange unknown woman both staring at him. Prince Vegeta begins to cry. The scouter starts beeping repeatedly. What is this? 2,000? 3? 4? 5? It's exactly 9,000! When he's angry, that is. So even when he's angry, he's still weaker than Baby Broly was in the Z movie. But oh well, so is Dragon Ball Super Baby Broly. As we know, King Vegeta, seeing Broly's power in the DBS Broly, wished to have him exiled to planet Vampa so he may never pose a threat to planet Vegeta. However, since Prince Vegeta is King Vegeta's son, he would believe that the new prince is actually entitled to this power. So King Vegeta mostly raises Vegeta the 4th himself, though Nappa still takes care of him every once in a while. When Vegeta grows up, he'd obviously be way stronger than he was as a baby, and since we know Vegeta was at a power level of 10,000 by Bardock, the father of Goku, we can give him a very significant increase in power. So, if he can go from somewhere below 1,000 to 10,000, then he'd have an even higher power level, with the potential of the legendary Super Saiyan as well. We can say Vegeta's power level, with training, by the time that he and Nappa on Arlia, is probably around 40,000, so we'll just say exactly 40,000. It could be higher, but Vegeta's growth in power is kind of stunted by the fact there are no Cybermen strong enough to challenge him. It was probably already hard for him to train with the Cybermen canonically, so this would be even more difficult. But also, we don't want to have Vegeta be too powerful either. We want the story to be interesting. We don't want Vegeta going around killing everybody with a single attack. King Vegeta permits Nappa to train with Vegeta so he himself can be a stronger bodyguard. Therefore, by the time Vegeta and Nappa are on Arlia, Nappa's power level would increase to about 24,000. Since King Vegeta is closer with his son in this timeline, he and Vegeta do some stuff together, like eat dinner as a family, a 2-person family, which they probably didn't do in canon. And at the dinner table, they have conversations, and they also have those pretty much everywhere else, because I can't really imagine in canon King Vegeta talked to his son very much. but in this story he does. Surely, in some of these conversations, King Vegeta brings up his suspicions regarding Frieza. So when Frieza destroys planet Vegeta, Vegeta doesn't really buy this whole meteor story. It's surprising he even bought it in canon anyway, but anyway, getting back on track, Vegeta, due to having a closer relationship with his father and actually understanding affection, or at least having a better concept of it, Vegeta is not such a heel to Nappa and Raditz. Vegeta even allows Nappa to train Raditz a little bit, getting him to a power level of 7,000. Why 7,000? Cool number. When Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz go on missions together, Vegeta is the one who does a majority of the work, using his full power to destroy a planet's population as soon as possible, so he and the boys can have a little break. Sit down, eat some bug people, talk, whatever. Do whatever friends do, I guess. Vegeta shares more with Nappa and Raditz, and by that I mean socially, and eventually they come to learn of his suspicions of Frieza as well, and they feel largely the same. Raditz then eventually goes to Earth to get Kakarot to come and join them, so they might have a better chance of defeating Frieza. Before Raditz goes to Earth, here's a recap on power levels. We have Vegeta at 40,000, then Nappa at 24,000, and again Raditz at 7,000. But Vegeta does have Ikari stored somewhere up his bunghole to use as a last resort. One thing to mention is that due to their training together, the Saiyans have learned how to sense ki. This is something they picked up from their missions, only because they got more training in and have more experience fighting and more experience with ki, as loose as their grasp on ki is. Everything about Goku's life and everything about the Earth stays exactly the same, so that out of the way, let's get to the scene on Earth. An attack pod crashes upon the soil of the Earth, creating a deafening boom to any creature that may be near it. There weren't any creatures near it though, but there was a human being close enough to witness the pod shooting from the sky, and close enough to hear the impact. This creature is a man, a farmer, but not just any farmer. No, this one has a truck, but more importantly, a shotgun. The farmer gets in his truck, driving the half-mile over to the crash site, anxious to see what type of space machination would dare to destroy his land like that. Sure enough, Carl the farmer gets out of his truck and witnesses a man with long, spiky black hair exiting the pod. He had brought his shotgun out with him in case it was something dangerous. Given the height of this thing and its menacing appearance, it was clear to him he would be needing to use the weapon he had brought with him. Oh, a living being, what a surprise. Kakarot must have missed you when he was clearing out this planet. Oh, but the lands are so beautiful. Perhaps he wanted to preserve the atmosphere of this planet and take his massacre slow. I can't blame him, it would fetch a higher price. I'm sorry about my shitty impression, but that's gonna be here the whole video. That's gonna be here the whole series. That's gonna be here in every single series I do. I'm sorry. Sorry. You're gonna have to deal with that. The farmer cowers before the spacemen, terrified beyond comprehension. Stay back, I'll shoot, commands the farmer. Raditz tilts his head a little bit and grins at him. How cute, he says. The little earthling thinks he can fight me. Raditz levitates into the air, but the farmer hits him right between the eyes with a blast from his shotgun. Oh, wait, no. The low-class Saiyan easily caught the bullet in between his fingers. I'll show you one better, Raditz says, pointing his fingers towards the air. Carl looks at him, still cowering, but his eyes follow Raditz's hand. Raditz's eyes meet the farmer, and he flicks his thumb upward, launching the bullet hundreds of meters into the sky. See? Raditz asks rhetorically. Not even a contest. Goodbye, little Earthman. And with that, Raditz flew off into the mountains to search for the highest power level on the planet. He presses the button on the side of his scouter and it beeps for a few seconds before locking on to the nearest 3-digit power level. Excellent, Raditz says. Raditz flies over to the power level only to see Piccolo training against himself. Oh, that's definitely not Kakarot. Not Kakarot at all. Raditz searches for another power level, the next highest one, and that's when he discovers Goku's. Meanwhile, Goku and Gohan have just arrived atop the Kinto-Un to the Kame House reunion. They are greeted by Bolin? What the fuck? They are greeted by Bulma, Krillin, and Roshi. Goku introduces his bashful child to his old friends and master, and all is well. That is, until Raditz shows up. Before Raditz can even get close to them, everyone on the island other than Turtle and Gohan can feel his energy. Even Bulma, who cannot detect energy in any sense. A bead of sweat forms on Goku's head. What kind of power is that? That can't be Piccolo, can it? Krillin asks. No, that can't be him. I don't think. Last I saw, Piccolo was just below me in terms of strength. Whatever that power is at least... I don't know how much, but it's an incredible power. Could we win if we took him on? Asks Roshi. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Purple light streaks through the sky, and Raditz arrives at Kame House. He levitates down onto the sand and is greeted by Goku, Krillin, and Roshi in fighting positions. No need for a hostile greeting. Oh, and hey, more living beings. I'm surprised, Kakarot. I expected you would have them all wiped out by now. But Maybe you plan to use them as slaves? Not such a bad idea, I suppose. We can never have too many slaves. Who are you? What? Who am I? Kakarot, I'm your brother Raditz. You know that. Perhaps you didn't recognize me. Yes, that must be it. After all, you were rather young when you were sent here. 2, I believe. So I suppose I understand. But don't tell me you also forgot about your mission. You didn't, did you? I have no idea what you're talking about. Were you dropped on the head as a child? You are Kakarot, one of the last 4 remaining Saiyan warriors in the universe. Oh, wait, 5. There's actually a 5th one. We don't know where he is, but last we knew he was getting married. He's a brother of one of my associates. Oh, good for him. And yeah, I was dropped on my head as a kid. How do you know? Oh, I'm sorry. I was being facetious. I was insulting you, Kakarot. I didn't mean to bring anything up like that when it actually happened to you. I apologize. And if you'll forgive me, I would like you to come back with me so that we may recruit you into the Frieza Force. It's alright, you didn't know about it. Lucky guess, you could say. But come back with you? Where? What's the Frieza Force? Raditz crushes Scouter. The Frieza Force is an evil, tyrannical, fascist organization led by Lord Frieza himself. I'm trying to recruit you into it with me so that we may tear it down from the inside with the aid of my 2 comrades back home. So you're in an evil organization then. How should I be able to trust you're not just tricking me to get out there and gang up on me? Raditz sighs. Kakarot, you can feel my power, can't you? That's not my name, but yes, I can. Then you should easily know you cannot defeat me. It doesn't matter how many more people would need to be there if I can defeat you alone already. I want your help. I need you to come with me so we can have a 4th member to resist that tyrant's rule and end his life once and for all. For our planet and for our pride as Saiyan warriors. I don't know what a Saiyan is or why you think I'm one, but then again, I've never been in space before. I've never taken down a tyrant before either. Oh, except for Commander Red. What about King Piccolo? Krillin butts in. Oh yeah, him too. So I guess maybe I do have some experience in it, but I don't know you, and I don't really trust you, and I'm a human being, and my name is Goku, so where do we go from here? Well, you can always agree to help me anyway. I can prove your heritage to you once we get where we need to be. Oh, okay. Good point. Goku sticks his tongue out, looks at the people behind him. I mean, I kind of have a son to raise. A son? With a human being, you mean? Yup. Incredible. I could never expect a Saiyan could breed with an Earth cow. No, I bred with a human cow. Oh, I mean an Earth human, sorry. Somewhere a pair of eyes squinted very intensely, and a woman with black hair and a purple outfit gets very, very cross. No, I know, I just meant... Oh, forget it, it's a miracle anyway, but she's alive, right? If so, why not just leave your son with her? Yes, he'll be missing out on some serious Saiyan bonding experience, but he probably won't fit in the pod anyway. Oh, wait. What? I only brought a single attack pod with me. Oh, an attack pod? That must be what you came here in, right? Yes, that's correct. Damn it. I should have thought ahead. I was supposed to bring you back with me, but I only have 1 pod. Shit. I can't possibly contact anyone to help send another pod either, since I just destroyed my scouter. Shit! So, if it's some sort of spaceship type of thing, then we could just make you a new one. We? Does this planet have space travel? Well, yeah, we could just launch a spaceship. I can have my friend Bulma make one for us, so we can get back to wherever you're supposed to go without getting your little talkie device thing. Scouter. Right. Goku turns to Bulma. She looks kind of concerned and annoyed at the same time. Goku, are you sure that's a good idea? I mean, you don't know this guy at all, and he wants to take you into space. You'll have no way of communicating with us once you leave, and your son will be fatherless for however long it takes to beat that tyrant guy, and the time it'll take you to get there and get back. Okay, you have a point with the no communications thing and the whole leaving Gohan alone thing, but I think Chi-Chi will be okay without me. She's strong, and she can be strong for Gohan, too. I'm sure you guys and everyone else here can be strong without me as well. Well, I mean, you guys all have been for, 5 years? So if you're worried about everybody missing me, then you don't really have to. Okay, but what about going into space with the guy who's way stronger than you, could easily kill you and leave your body to freeze in absolute zero? Relax, Bulma. I can sense his intent from his key signature. He seems more slimy, greenish brown than red. What? Well, green is good and red is bad. When you mix red and green, you get brown. And I will say, his key signature is kind of brownish, but it's like a slimy, greenish brown. Goku turns his head to Krillin. Back me up on this? Huh? Oh, yeah, I mean, Goku is right about that. Not that that entirely convinces me anyway. Goku, I know you can make your own choices and all, but make sure not to do anything stupid, okay? Alright, I won't. I just think he means what he says. I think I'm going to join him. So I ask again, Bulma, would you be willing to make a spaceship for us? Bulma sighs wearily. Sure, I guess I will. Yes, okay, thank you. I do just have one little request, though. You already made one little request. Goku looks at Bulma with pleading puppy dog eyes. Fine, what? Well, a long time ago, like 8 years ago, when I was training on Kami's Lookout, Mr. Popo made me go into this room, and it was called the Panasonic Blonde Savior, and it was all white, and the gravity in there was really strong. I could only stay in there for a few days before I had to come out. Basically what I'm asking is, can you make some sort of gravity manipulation thing and put that in the ship so I can get stronger before the big fight? I guess so, but it'll add more time onto the waiting period. That's okay. Okay, well, it'll take like 2 weeks. One, if I can get some help. Oh, well, would studying the attack pod help? Maybe. Is it particularly fast? No idea. Goku turns around. Hey, Raditz, is your attack pod thing fast? Probably faster than any Earth ship, so I'll say for your sake, yes. Goku turns back around and begins to open his mouth. Yeah, I heard him. I don't know if that'll make the time shorter or faster or what, but I'll get to it. Not today, tomorrow. An alien ship with gravity manipulation. God, sometimes I wonder why my life is so weird. Yeah, all the time funny stuff happens to us. Well, not anymore, and sometimes it's not funny, but you know what I mean. Thank you. Yeah, whatever. Goku and the rest actually get to finish their reunion at Kame House this time around, though Raditz is sitting somewhere in the mountain waiting for Goku to get out of there, and Yamcha wasn't invited because he and Bulma aren't really on speaking terms. Speaking on why Goku can't sense intention, that's just the kind of thing he can do if you didn't know. He can also read minds, though he only does this one time, which was the Namek Saga. He just has a ton of strange, one-off abilities that don't really make a huge difference in the story. As for why Raditz is a slimy, greenish-brown, I just kind of made up the whole color part of sensing intent. I think it's a cool idea. It doesn't affect the color of Raditz's aura, of course, since, as previously stated, purple streaks through the sky, he has a purple aura, but it's an internal kind of thing. Since Goku and Raditz have a week and a half to kill, they decide to train together, though this effort is mostly spent strengthening up Goku so he may be able to stand amongst their ranks once he arrives on Frieza Planet 79. In this week and a half, Raditz is able to get Goku up to a power level of 800, which is almost double what it was before. This is at his full power, of course. This may seem a little extreme, however, as I said, this effort is mostly spent strengthening up Goku. Raditz makes Goku take advantage of the Zenkai boosts without seriously injuring him in order to get stronger. Raditz's power level only grows to somewhere between 7100 and 7200 because of the previously stated reason. Piccolo decides to train on his own, so maybe he can take over the planet while Goku's away, and Goku is able to sense this while he's training with Raditz. Before Goku and Raditz leave for Frieza Planet 79, Goku tells the Z-Fighters that maybe they should start to train together since nobody is there to keep Piccolo in line anymore. The Z-Fighters agree to these conditions, though Chi-Chi, who Goku actually asked to help train as well, is a little reluctant. However, since she was pretty strong from the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai tournament, and her strength is somewhere around 75% of that since she hasn't trained in a while, it might be good to at least get back to the same level. This is much more reasonable than, say, asking the Z-Fighters to have Gohan train with them, which shall not be happening in this scenario, not yet anyway. After all, Gohan is like 4, so I can't imagine the Z-Fighters, especially Tien, would be really comfortable with that, and especially Chi-Chi would not. But if this means she can guarantee her little boy can live in a safer world, it's a sacrifice she decides to make. Since Gohan is homeschooled at this point, he isn't really limited to the Sun household as the only location he can learn at. With that being said, Chi-Chi trusts Gohan in his education with Mr. Popo and Kami, while she goes and trains with the Z-Fighters, also on the lookout. Roshi would have been asked by Goku to train as well, but the others make sure he doesn't try anything funny with her. After all, she is a married woman, and Gohan's on the lookout, so if he tries anything icky, they'll boot him out of there faster than a rocket ship. Back to Goku and Raditz. Yes, I understand the irony of talking about Earth in a Vegeta-centric series. Once they get on the Capsule Corp ship and take off towards Frieza Planet 79, they begin to train again. Since it takes Vegeta a week or so to get from Earth to Frieza Planet 79 in the regular story, and since the ship is a little slower than an attack pod only due to its increased size, they'll get there in about another week and a half. So that's basically 3 whole weeks Goku's had to spend with his older brother. This also means another week and a half of training. We know in a single week, Goku alone got a ridiculous Zenkai boost of 9 times Flying Dynamic. Maybe more, but I think his power level was 10,000 when he healed at the hospital. Although he is also weaker, so he won't be able to withstand the gravity so easily yet. Definitely easier than when he goes to King Kai's planet since his power level is nearly double, but still. The ship ride is spent getting Goku to be able to walk in this gravity properly, while Raditz trains on his lonesome. Once Goku's finally able to walk, run, jump, and attack properly in this gravity, which happens day 2, 3 or so, he finally gets to train with Raditz. Pretty much every time Raditz wins in their fights, however, at some point, Goku picks up on Raditz's way of fighting, which doesn't mean he wins, but it means he can last longer in their battles, and lasting longer in their training means more effective game. Now let's get over to the boost here. We'll give Goku a 13 times boost, which does sound crazy, but considering he's in better training conditions here, with more time than usual, it's not really that crazy. After all, he has, 4 more days? He has a training partner as well. As for Raditz, at most he gets a 4 times power boost, since he's already way stronger than Goku. But we will do him a favor and spank his monkey a little by confirming his base power before this trip to be 7,200 from the previous week and a half of training. 800 times 13 is 10,400, and 7,200 times 4 is 28,800, Goku's power level being the former and Raditz's the latter. To recap the power levels of the Saiyans in order, we have Vegeta at 40k, Raditz at 28.8k, Nappa at 24k, and Goku at 10.4k. Raditz is only that strong because of his gravity training. Nappa would have gotten the same boost in that context, or probably more since he's mid-class. However, that would mean a lot more for him than it does for Raditz. This episode, like I said in the beginning, is just the setup for the story so far. This is part 0, to explain how and why the next part will be the way that it is. Think of part 0 of this series maybe as a pilot. Meanwhile, every other part will be an actual episode of the series, if you want to put it that way. Other parts will be longer than this, of course, but again, this is just setup, so it's a bit shorter. If you want to see this series continue, please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe so I can know people are out there watching the stuff I make, and so I can have reason to make more of it. With that being said, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day, night, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. Could be dawn, crack of dawn, middle of midnight, whatever. Goodbye.